stuff about this that shit, you finally have to face your family now. There's no way to run away. You finally have to whatever, like, bond with your family, or you can't say that no mom, I have to leave now for work when she asks you to do jhadu pocha in the house.
हाँ
So shit
bro,
like that.
extensively. I consider myself such a champion of being able to wash the dishes. पर मम्मी बोलती है ना, तो अच्छा सा नहीं लगता ऐसे ऑर्डर फॉलो करना है कि मतलब मैं अपने अपने वोल्यूशन पे करूंगा. आई डोंट वांट यू टू से इट because also now
Exactly.
the mothers have an advantage because this is their
An
home
upper hand
territory.
now.
हाँ,
Yeah,
उनकी
this
home
is their
territory
home
है.
turf.
उन लोगों को पता है ups and downs क्या है. तो in order to survive and live you have to appease to the goddess. तो तुम्हें मानना पड़ेगा, करना पड़ेगा. Otherwise you get all sorts of passive aggressive. तुम ये नहीं करते, तुम वो नहीं करते, ऐसा है,
Yeah,
वैसा है, ये है, वो है.
absolutely. Yeah, so it's their home turf, yaar. Matlab chal raha hai. They're also having their fair share of like break. To be honest, abhi just yesterday only, the washing duties were given to us, to me, washing the
Hmm.
utensils. Jhadu pocha was given to my brother, and
अच्छा.
we're all learning to cook now in this process of 21-day lockdown, so that even that she doesn't have to.
तो क्या, what can you make right now? I know I can make a
I
Maggi,
can,
omelette,
bro,
some rice.
same.
बस.
So I'm learning how to cook dal rice. Yeah, matlab that's
अच्छा.
the basic. I'm really ashamed that I can't even cook basic dal rice. So I'm so glad. Most of my friends are actually in the US right now for their
हाँ.
masters and all. And
अच्छा.
I'm happy that I'm not one of those guys. It would have been fucking terrible for me to survive. Of course, I've learned some basic cooking if I was going to the US.
हाँ.
But boss, like 21, 30 days lockdown without any human interaction, having to do literally everything by yourself, that is
See,
some test, man. That is some real test.
Viraj, you'd be surprised. I went to US for the college for 4 years and I returned this August. I remember
Okay.
अभी मेरे जो कुछ दोस्त हैं वहाँ पे न्यूयॉर्क में, they
Hmm.
for some reason even though they have lockdowns, वो लोग चल फिर रहे हैं, अपने दोस्तों से, गर्लफ्रेंड से मिल रहे हैं पार्क्स में जाके.
Right.
I mean, they're getting high, they're getting drunk, and the best part, as far as the food is concerned, you and I would have a far easier time making food in the US because it's. I mean, I don't know if
Okay.
you eat non-veg. Are you a non-veg eater?
No, I am a vegetarian.
You're vegetarian, right? Even then, like it's easier to make shit up. Like थोड़ा सा केल लिया, थोड़ा avocado लिया, काटा,
Yeah.
ब्रेड डाली, वो easy
Mm-hmm.
है. ये जो इंडिया के अंदर तड़का लगाना, दाल को ऐसे मतलब क्या भिगो के रखना 1 घंटे के लिए, ये वाला सीन ना, that seems complicated for some reason.
Right. No, that's true. I mean, when I was in the US last year, we had a bunch of friends who were there already. So I had gone for a work trip, and a bunch of our friends had already been staying there and stuff like that. And they called us over for lunch and dinner and
Where
all.
was this?
This was last year, August.
Where was this? Was this on the East
This
Coast or
is
the West?
this is LA. This is LA.
This is LA. Okay.
Yeah, and it's some of the best like dal rice I've had outside of my mom's place, outside of home, even in India. And I'm like, what the hell are you guys cooking up here? Like, this is you guys should start a restaurant out here, man. It would do super well.
Wait, so these
And
were
I mean,
guys who were like as old as you who could cook better than your
yeah,
moms?
roughly, yeah, roughly,
मम्मी नाराज हो
roughly
जाएंगी
my.
ब्रो अगर वो देखेंगी तो.
No, I mean that's fine, man. But it's crazy कि यार वहाँ जाके उन्होंने they've mastered this whole, like Indians ना bro, दो चीज में problem होती है उनको. One is the food issue, especially for a vegetarian like me. But luckily LA is super woke as a place, so the whole veganism trend has picked up there.
It
तो वो
is.
avocado toast ये वो सब
Bro, I
guacamole
can
all
shit on
that.
so many hipsters for you right now with you. It's
Yeah.
bro,
It's
ऐसे फ्लैनल वाली शर्ट पहन के आते हैं, avocado टोस्ट करते हैं, फिर kombucha पीते हैं. Bro, I get it. I fucking
taking their skateboard along with
I,
them.
bro, I love those things. I love avocados. I love kombucha. I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
that. बस उसका जो लाइफस्टाइल बना लेते हैं ना लोग कि ये
Yeah.
ग्लूटेन फ्री है, मेरे को सेलियाक डिसीज नहीं है, फिर भी मैं ग्लूटेन फ्री वेव को राइड करूंगा या
Right.
करूंगी. मैं घर पे खुद kombucha बना रहा हूँ. ओ मेरे को देखो, अब मैं अपनी ईस्ट ग्रो कर रहा हूँ. ये देखो ये वाला एवोकाडोस मेक्सिको से नहीं, ये यूएसए से आए हैं. ओ ब्रो देखो आर्टिसनल वीड. ओ ब्रो देखो ट्रफल्स. वो पूरा सीन
Yeah,
हिलेरियस है.
I know.
And you see ramifications of that in places in Mumbai, in Bandra, in certain cafes. Like I think if you've been to Bandra,
Oh
like a
yeah,
classic
बांद्रा में हो रहा
kitchen
है
garden.
already overspill थोड़ा.
हाँ किचन गार्डन में
Uh,
जाके देखो कैसे आवागाडो की मारा मारी हो रही होती है दिन रात.
you will be surprised, dude. I was in Rishikesh in December.
हाँ
Good old days when we could travel. So Rishikesh has a huge amount of foreigners, right? Because again,
हाँ.
same hippie culture is replicated. हर
इजरायली आ
जगह
जाते
पे
हैं एक साल के लिए फूकने के लिए.
कि हाँ सब नहीं फूकने के लिए नहीं इंटेंशन तो ये होता है कि हम अपनी कुंडलिनी अवेकन कर देंगे हम
Bro, तू मेरा दोस्त है bro.
yeah,
Bro,
and all
let's
that
go to
is
India and discover the meaning of life in 1 year. मेरी
yeah
third eye.
and discover ourselves like just how the Beatles did and just how Steve Jobs did. So
हाँ
it's a huge scam going on there, right? Every nook and corner you will see yoga classes happening,
हाँ
and actually, I mean, it's just guys, creepy guys who are trying to take advantage of some of these foreigners,
हाँ
monetarily, physically, whatever it is. But
हाँ bro. सुबह
beyond
कैफे.
that, the positive side to that was because there's so many foreigners.
Right.
I went to a local like grocery, अपना मतलब सब्जी वाला बंदा,
हाँ
जो रास्ते पे was selling stuff, okay, and there were all these normal vegetables, and out of nowhere I see a bunch of avocados lying out there, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like,
avocados and Rishikesh. Fucking
and
hell.
I'm like, boss, क्या हो गया ऋषिकेश को? Like, I visited Rishikesh like 10, 12 years ago, and I remember how it was like super chill, just mainly Indians and all of that.
हाँ
And I'm like, dude, there was at a point that there were definitely more foreigners hanging around in some cafes than there were Indians. And this whole avocado culture has taken over. And I'm like, wow, man, this is some next level stuff.
You would never expect avocados to come to Rishikesh. I was saying कि bro विराज मैंने इसको
Exactly.
दिल्ली में देखा मुंबई ऋषिकेश पहुंच गए avocado
Yeah,
like वो
it's
like bro एक
crazy.
तरफ साधु है साधु अपना मतलब चिलम बना रहा है और जो भी बेसिक वो खाना मिल रहा है
Yeah,
एक तरफ it
yeah.
like you have to have a certain degree of a woke rich person to even facilitate a culture around avocados. So something in that is I've never
That's
heard
what
of.
that's what they did. They took the opportunity, and a bunch of these cafes we visited, the avocado lassi and the avocado ka sab alag alag
What
type ke
the
variants.
fuck?
Uh,
That's yeah, that's
crazy
hilarious. Yeah, I remember
kombuchas and avocado lassi and all
kombuchas
of
as
that.
well.
Yeah, there was kombucha as well. So they've literally sort of transported LA ka food culture and brought it to Rishikesh.
Huh. And I think it works for them also because one thing that I find fascinating is as soon as the health movement, whatever that is, came to India, it first started with people, trying to eat those McVitie's digestive biscuits. पहले वो वाला एक segment शुरू हुआ
Yeah,
था, है ना?
my
पहले लोग
parents.
digestive, हाँ हाँ हाँ, because our parents were like कि हम यहाँ तक health करेंगे, इसके बाद
Yeah.
सारा चीज़ off है.
And dude, like even those have some amount of sugar and maida and all that, right? Like then they're not the
हाँ
healthiest snack out there. But sure, matlab, whatever floats their boat, to be honest right now.
हाँ bro, क्योंकि marketing के हिसाब से लिखा है ना, they are digestive. I love how it's like
Healthiest biscuits or whatever.
it's a simple spin on digestion because it says digestive. It's they somehow relate that to being absolutely healthy for them. But it's funny how different generations stop their health improvement journeys on different avenues. अभी हम लोग भी क्या है, maybe you and I won't go as far as doing the keto diet, but हम लोग क्या करेंगे,
For sure not.
we'll eat an avocado and be content. And फिर हम लोग दही
Yeah.
भी खा रहे हैं और लस्सी भी पी लेंगे, even though dairy is
Right.
technically bad for you, that sort of
Right.
thing. But what's interesting about all of this is there's a huge element of marketing that goes in it, right? Even
Of
the
course.
example that we discussed, digestive, that word alone evokes a billion Indian parents to go and buy a billion Indian educated parents to go and buy those biscuits in the hopes that they're somehow eating healthy, right?
Absolutely. अरे यार मतलब क्या क्या नहीं बेचते यार आजकल तो health के नाम पे. Your real juice and all purely in the name of, oh, it's a health juice or whatever it means. There's like so many of those being sold. So many of these scams, weight loss pills, you have all your sauna belts, all that jazz. But I mean, I
Acting
mean,
pro.
the truth is,
Telemarts के ad आते थे acting pro के.
it's pretty easy to fool the average Indian boomer.
Yeah.
If you add words like fresh, healthy, digestive, sugar-free,
And it's
into
pretty
it, right?
easy to fool the Indian millennial if you add organic and gluten free with
Oh, that's right.
the same
Vegan,
sentence.
organic, and yeah, gluten-free. And you can charge them whatever the hell you want.
Bro, 2,000 रुपए का सैंडविच मैं खाऊंगा ना किचन गार्डन पे जाके अगर तू बोलेगा हेल्दी है तो.
I know, right? It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, India's still getting a bunch of its legitimate good health food places now. I've visited Bombay Salad a bunch of times.
Yeah,
So,
that Bombay salad is legit. I like Bombay
so
salad a lot.
yeah, so while it is outrageously expensive, it is like
It is.
it is expensive, but it's like sure if it's healthy, theek hai yaar, once in a while make that choice. You know, feed your body good food.
Feed your inner yogi, right? That sort of thing. But
That's right.
as a kid, did you ever cry after being like eating Bonvita? Tu Bonvita pita tha?
No, dude,
Bonvita?
I used to love Milo, Bonvita. More than anything, I used to love the powder version of it, not like mix it in the milk and shit.
Just eating
So
the raw
I'm from
powder.
so I'm from a Gujju family. Okay, my sweet taste buds are like on an all-time high all the time. Like they need, they are fucking needy. They're like feed me all the time, right? So that was activated since I was very young, and I used to love just purely just eating like bowl लेता था और उसमें मैं बोनवीटा का पाउडर Milo पाउडर लेके भर के सिर्फ वही खाता था.
Bro,
And I
high
was
five.
like, wow,
I still do
this is
that.
the life.
Wow. So wait. So you ate Bonvita or Milo? मतलब ज़्यादा favorite कौन सा था? Milo or
Both,
Bonvita?
yeah. We've had both. I also used to like Complan in bits and pieces. But I mean, I grew up to be fairly tall, so I think my mom just didn't stop Complan after a point.
There was this very specific, I think it's controversial now, but that ad that came on which said कि जो बच्चे कॉम्प्लान पीते हैं ना उनकी हाइट इतनी ज्यादा बढ़ जाती है. एक पूरा बकायदा ad आता था, याद है?
Of course, I know. They used to measure it and shit. Like they used to take two kids and
हाँ. But
they used to say कि ये है Complan बच्चा और ये है whatever.
हाँ, और ये regular बच्चा bro.
हाँ.
This time, I think Indian advertising, even though there were some great pieces made by, I forget who's the head of Ogilvy, like the guy. He was on the
Was
series. Piyush
Piyush
something.
Pandey, Prasoon
Piyush Pandey.
Joshi.
Piyush Pandey. So he made some great ads in the 90s and 2000s. But there were also like shit like what you would see in the 60s advertising agencies era in the USA, Madison Avenue वाला जो पूरा वो scene था, वो सब इंडिया में भी पेडल हो रहा था कि मतलब लोग एक तो फेयरनेस क्रीम्स ले रहे थे दबा के कि भाई मैंने इसको ये देखो फेयरनेस मीटर है, इसमें 6 पैलेट बने हुए हैं, तुम इसको लगाओगे तो तुम जो काले हो गोरे हो जाओगे. एक कॉम्प्लान, ऐसे 100 झूठ उस टाइम में पेडल करे जा रहे थे. अब if it floats around now, it's just not going to work. I think we've become very wise as a nation that consumes advertisements.
Absolutely, I agree, man. I think not just us, like it's just the whole millennial generation, right? That has come to realize that, boss, okay, advertising will exist. There's like not running away from them, but we need to consume good content even when it comes to ads now, right? We're not just going to approve of fairness creams or like sugar laden products. Of course everyone knows Coke, Pepsi is not healthy for you, right? But we still go around, and that's what it was, a tactical decision from there, and also to very very smartly focus on other things and not the sugar part, right? Like how Coke makes you happy. So there used to be this whole Amir Khan ad around, I don't even remember. It was like basically centered around happiness. That if you're having Coke or if you're sharing Coke with a friend, you're happy in life. So that's how they used to do their sort of marketing, right? Now is not the time where I think being sneaky like that probably works. If you want to promote your products to your audience, you need to be very like transparent with them about what does it do, what are the consequences of using such products. Which actually reminds me, one of the brands, big group, uh, uh, they apparently they sell fairness creams. It's very evident from their name itself. uh,
Okay.
but this is a male centric brand, so they had reached out to me saying that we'd like
I
you
like
guys
how
to
you've
take.
become politically correct in the course of this conversation about talking about
I
brands.
mean, it's a very common name, and Shah Rukh Khan was the
No,
ambassador one of
I
the
know the
time.
name. I know the name.
That was their tone. Okay,
और नाम भी बता
so
दे.
anyway, so they reached out and they were like, we'd like you guys to take up our social media mandate and come pitch for it and all of that. And internally, I was like, wait, this is the first time we've been approached by a brand like this, where we have had to take a moral call.
Yeah,
कि यार कि क्या पैसा important है कि यार ethics important है, right? Because before this we were a startup, so ethics की तो बात छोड़ दो, मतलब हमेशा पैसा ही important था वो time पे, because you had to survive as a startup, right? To be able to reach a point where where it meant that okay, now we have the luxury to have the choice between ethics and money. So
right.
so I was at that juncture almost like 4 months ago, and I actually told them that, hold on, I would love to take up this challenge, uh, but what I would like you guys to do is, uh, we would personally take an angle which would say that we're absolutely mistaken in the approach that we had taken previously. That no, we're definitely not promoting fairness in terms of skin tone, but we are now promoting fairness in terms of being equal and um, being wise and being fair, like not in terms of complexion, in terms of the emotion.
Like
Um,
your ethical behavior.
yeah, you're ethical. There's two meanings to fair, right?
Right.
So we were like,
Interest.
if you guys are okay to be transparent about this, come out in the open saying that this is genuinely a mistake. Of course, this is not uh, our value system anymore. We could take a twist like that, and then we could go out, and it would be a good challenge for us as well, to be honest. So I put that plan out to them, and they weren't very keen, man. They were just like, I mean, badi company hai, I can't help them also, yaar. Matlab, they have too many approvals to take. They have too many people to answer to, too many stakeholders. So they weren't that flexible. So we're like, okay, we'll give it a pass for now then. So which reminds me to the whole topic that you have to be woke in terms of your advertising and genuinely mean it, not just be woke for the heck of it.
Yeah.
There is no chance at this point of time you can be diplomatic as a brand about your advertising, right? You need to be out there, you need to take a stand, and it could be about anything. It could be about a cause, it could be about um as a brand, whatever your ethics are, you need to take certain stands. So that's important. One example that I always give to people is during this whole CAA situation that had happened recently.
Right.
On Twitter, there were a lot of bot pages that were just saying ki ye number pe call karo. Like BJP had introduced this thing called ye number pe call karo, so you will support CAA and all of that. How they
Yes.
tried to propagate it is that, I mean, how Twitter pages try to propagate it is that Sunny Leone को बोला कि okay whatever, Sunny Leone कॉल करेगी अगर ये नंबर पे आपने कॉल किया तो, फ्री नेटफ्लिक्स पासवर्ड आपको मिल जाएगा अगर ये नंबर पे कॉल किया तो, फ्री अल्कोहल मिल जाएगा अगर ये नंबर पे कॉल किया तो. एंड नेटफ्लिक्स इंडिया एक्चुअली फ्रॉम देयर ऑफिशियल ट्विटर अकाउंट went out and replied to a lot of those bogus tweets saying that no, this is a scam. You are not going to get a free Netflix account if you call this number. So I was like, that was shocking. I was like, cool, man. I mean, if you can actually come out and do that and actually go out and tell people that no, boss, like this is a stand. Whatever, we're not going to make this happen, and we're going to speak up against this. usually in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, a lot of those brands would have probably been diplomatic, and the brand manager would have been like, "Chhodna yaar, kya farak padta hai?"
Yeah, I think what's interesting is how in the early, and you can probably add more credence to more credibility to this example because you work in a new age media industry company.
Right,
Initially, what used to happen was big companies had these departments called corporate social responsibility departments.
right,
Um, like Times of India had one where they have this campaign called Teach India, where they get volunteers to teach English to people who volunteer to get
yeah,
taught, and that sort of thing. Now what's happened is, even though those departments still exist, now you see, in fact, there's several research papers saying that millennials support the brands that somehow favor liberal causes, be that saving the environment, be
yeah,
that caring for the poor, that sort of thing. The world itself is moving toward a empathetic, inclusive, hate to use those words more than they should be, but
same.
right, it's, I mean, they're buzzwords, man, everyone uses them.
It's so
Again,
overdone, man. Like, fuck off with those words.
you're a bro, like, I cannot I was going to make a point, but I cannot stress
No, I
the
get it.
level and the level of irresponsibility with which these words are shared, even in India, which leads to a bunch of people expounding values that they haven't even thought through. Everyone will say they're democratic, inclusive, diverse, and empathetic. No one knows what they mean about it.
Yeah.
And that's the issue that we face here, is that we manufacture a lot of the ideas from Western organizations and management, and media companies, but we simply don't have the know-how to fully execute them. What do you think about that?
True. No, absolutely. So I would agree. In fact, a lot of the brands that are in India right now, right? A lot of startups, why they are also picking up a lot of things from the West. In fact, most of the startups
Yeah.
that you will see prop up in India at some point or the other have been um, inspired by the West. I say that because we work with a lot of these guys, and the reference pages that we get when it comes to, when we ask them what are your brand values, what are your brand guidelines, what kind of content do you want, we are usually given a link from the West of a similar brand,
Yeah.
right? So which is fine. I mean, you can't always be innovative. Many times there's different ways of creating companies, right? Everything is not based on innovation.
Yeah.
You can probably just cater to a newer market, or provide or tweak that previous service and start your own thing. So that's completely fine. I'm not against that. But it's like you need to have your own identity, right? Yeah, while you say that, okay, this is your reference, um, beyond that, have you as a brand thought of what you genuinely feel about and want to cater to, right? Because what may work in the US may not necessarily work in India. For example, like, if you go with vegan cruelty free product, that may be a huge buzzword in LA, but that
Yes.
may not work as much in, say, something like a Europe, possibly. I mean, of course, now all of these
Or in Russia, even more.
yeah, all of us have now become super woke, but like one thing may not be relevant to the other thing, essentially. So you need to identify what as a brand works for you, man. Like, you need to identify those causes. Like, for example, I know Swiggy and Zomato as brands want to possibly reduce the consumption of plastic that goes through, which is why every time they have that option of, would you
Yeah.
want plastic
Choose cutlery
containers,
or not. Yeah.
or use cutlery or not. Yeah. So things like that. So a lot of those causes you need to identify, man. Even in crisis like we're facing right now, right? A
Yeah.
lot of brands are trying to be opportunistic, which is just like really shallow. That, guys, fucking stop. You don't have to push your product all the time, and they think they're being super like sneaky by making sure that they'll put some buzzwords about the virus and still push their product. Like, fuck
Quarantine,
you. Like,
self-isolation, disaster, pandemic. There you have it. That's four.
yeah,
But bro,
so
yeah,
it's that. So it's like, you need to understand what to convey where as a brand, right? um I see a lot of brands that have stepped up and, started doing a lot of cool things and giving away a lot of cool things during this pandemic. Like, for example, again, Zomato doing that thing with Feeding India, where they're trying to raise funds for the daily wage workers. The likes of Audible, Coursera, Upgrad, all of these online brands giving out free material and free content that can be consumed during this time of distress. Again, it's a great time for all of us to start learning new things, upskilling, listening to podcasts and things like that. And it's a welcome move by platforms like these that know that they can capitalize on newer things and more revenues, but they choose not to. They're choosing also to give away some stuff, not always thinking from a revenue perspective.
Right. I think that's very essential
so
coming
so that is very welcome. Like, you need to have some empathy. That is true. Like, same, hate to use the word, but you need to have empathy as a brand and to understand where to push what, when not to be opportunistic, when to sort of come out there and do a few good things for the community. And that is what builds depth in your audience, right? That's what we talk a lot about usually in the YouTube space. That sure, like, it's not too difficult to have width in audience. Of course, raking up numbers is something you can do by constantly putting out content. But what really matters is how big is the depth in your following. Like, if you asked for a meetup 5 hours before to a location, how many people would turn up for that meetup? How many people really care about you so that they would have to put their ass off of work or home or wherever they are and go travel X kilometers to come and see you. That is really the depth of your audience. So those are your real loyal followers who, no matter what, will always back you. And not just creators and artists need that, brands need that way more, because those are going to be repeat customers, and that's really where your real chunk of revenue comes from.
Yeah, man. I love what you said about how you cannot solve problems through mere innovation alone. And I think what you said afterward ties in very well to that. There's this idea that you can go as wide as you want. We discussed range on the phone yesterday, that book, and the idea around being generalist. But you said that there is something about being able to deliver a depth that allows people to radically shift their life just to come and meet you. If you could, what's like a way for people to do that now? Because one, I think there are too many imposters out there who are basically peddling the same stuff. And I'll give you some examples. For instance, the easiest way, at least people seem to have a template, is that you either give lifestyle advice, you either give health advice, right, fitness advice, or you do something like social confidence, which appeals to a lot of Indians, especially men or guys who seem to be lost, whose sexuality is repressed, that sort of thing. To me, from the outside, it seems like there's a couple of ins into the industry using health, fitness, self-care, personal development, all of those things. Is there anything beyond that, or is there a possibility for us to just, like, what do you think about this?
No, as genres, of course, there's many more things, right? These are, of course, your pillars of content. But beyond that, of course, there is like comedy, music, dance, beauty, a lot of those things, which again sort of tie into some of your things. Like, like there's infotainment and there's entertainment. Those are two like wide categories I'd look at it, right? Entertainment has everything from dance, music, comedy, roasting, stuff like that. And infotainment is where you will take something that you would want to retain, right? Some sort of information that helps you in life somehow. So it could be anything from learning about perfumes to learning communication skills to knowing what a keto diet is. It really depends then. What is it that you are coming in for? A majority of the audience on YouTube comes in for this side of the chunk, which is the entertainment, where they've had a long day at work and they just want to like chill now, want to listen to some good music or watch some sketches, comedy sketches and things like that.
Right.
So
just numb their minds and laugh.
Yeah, just like chill out, relax, and just have some fun. So those are two like major like buckets that's happening. But what were you talking in terms of like imposters, in what sense? Like that everyone now is selling a keto diet and everyone is like just spewing like 4 5 keywords ki yes, hustle it out and just
Yeah,
fucking like, don't procrastinate, you have one
exactly.
life and all that. Yeah, I
Exactly.
mean, I see that happening a lot, uh, especially when. So what I usually take as a barometer, right, for someone who's out there and preaching stuff. I see if they're like doing that shit themselves. Like if you are asking me to be fit, are you like really fit yourself? One,
Right.
I understand there can be phases, but if you've just like never been fit, who the hell gives you the authority to speak about fitness or bro science in that case, right? Like, why would you go out there? And bro science is so popular in India. Anyone spewing random shit कि हाँ ये तुम IF डाइट को मिला के कीटो डाइट करके तुम थोड़ा सा GM डाइट कर लो तो तुम्हारी लाइफ सेट हो जाएगी and shit like that. Of course, that's not something I would like buy into. But yeah, I see a lot of like fakes, imposters, more so than anything. So I think fakes and imposters are very strong words. I just see a lot of people who don't add a lot of value, to be honest, and are
Yeah.
still popular. So at many times I show my empathetic side out and say that yeah, I'm possibly not the target audience there. Um, but still, man, like some people are just full of shit. Like like they're just adding no value. कि bro वो tier 3 city में भी जो बंदा है ना उसको भी पता होगा शायद ये. So
ये चूतिया है.
yeah, why the fuck are you just blabbering shit?
Dude, that's spot on. This is something that I know you have been a pretty staunch consumer of Gary Vee's content, and I have stopped consuming. I used to consume a lot, but one thing that I
Dude,
liked about
same.
him, yeah, because once you realize that okay, it's about just doing
The
stuff. Hate
same
to use
loop.
the word muscle work ethic. All hate those words, but it's just about ठीक है ब्रो मेरे को समझ में आ गया मोटी मोटी बात मेरे मन में घुस गई है क्या है अब मैं कर ही लेता हूँ जब कर ले होते फिर तुम्हें जरूरत नहीं पड़ती कि बार बार जाके वो
Exactly.
एक पॉजिटिव रीइंफोर्समेंट का लूप लो कि अब एकदम पे नवाल भी सुनता हूँ फिर जॉर्डन पीटरसन भी सुनता हूँ फिर गैरी वी भी सुनता हूँ और अपने आप को सुपरचार्ज करता हूँ ओ ब्रो मैं इंस्पायर्ड हूँ मैं मोटिवेटेड हूँ चलो कुछ करता हूँ जैसी बाहर गया वो मेरी
Right.
पुरानी
Right.
but leaving that aside, what I think is fascinating about 22-year-old motivational speakers is that they're full of shit. Because bro, जो एक साल
That's
भी
so
पढ़ा होता
true.
है ना वो cynicism देखेगा कि भोसड़ी के तुझे क्या पता तूने
यार
जिंदगी क्या
तू अभी अभी तो पैदा हुआ है यार तू अभी तो दुनिया देखना शुरू की है तूने यार तू कैसे मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर बन रहा है so yeah I mean that's what I see कि यार see have you achieved something in life yet if you've gone to whatever and it could be anything you don't even need to have some crazy sort of achievement. Like you could have gone from 0 to 2 million subscribers. You could have written a book which probably was like the fifth best selling in Maharashtra, some shit like that. Like kuch to kiya hoga, which is something that an average person cannot do. If you do that, sure, please go ahead, build your niche, talk about that, talk about your journey, talk about how you made it happen. बट इफ यू जस्ट गिविंग ज्ञान की यार हाँ बुक ना ऐसे लिखते हैं बट मैंने बुक लिखी है क्या नहीं तो भाई तू घंटा एडवाइस नहीं दे सकता है ना फिर तो तू खुद नहीं फॉलो कर रहा है ये चीज सो इट्स
yeah.
मोर लाइक दैट लाइक प्रैक्टिस व्हाट यू प्रीच सिंपल इज दैट
Absolutely, and I think that shows through when you'll see someone giving advice, and you'll see how their words will start betraying them. क्योंकि तुम कितना भी अच्छा
एग्जैक्टली
posture कर लो, you can posture a lot, but that shows through. So you said something along the lines of, and then build your niche. I have a very interesting question in my head that I always often ask people who work in the YouTube/media entertainment space. There are a bunch of discussions around niching too early, hyper niching, not niching at all, being a generalist, letting your niche come up as a result of your audience interpreting you. Where do you, as Viraj Sheth, stand on that when you sign up on people, or in general when you're consuming content? Do you care if there's a niche?
I don't care if there's a niche as much as I care again about fan loyalty, right? Like, what is your depth with your audience? And it I've seen both ways, right? People who have very specific niches build super loyal audiences, and people who've been say generalist content creators also have amazing depth and loyalty, right? So the at the end of the day, are you able to captivate your audiences and bring them back to your channel with whatever it is that you're doing? Then it's fine if you're doing only doing gardening of a specific type of a plant, but you still being able to bring in viewers, or you're doing everything under the sun, from comedy to music to dance to fashion to photography to everything. Are they coming back to your channel to view your content is what is of prime importance always.
Right.
If yes, then there is definitely something that you are doing right, which others have not been able to crack, and that is your USP.
I see. I think that's very solid advice. It's less about who you are as a person with all your talents, and more about how many people are coming to see your show on the internet, whatever that means.
Right, but it also of course the whole journey involves that you be authentic with yourself. I know a lot of the top creators now, their personal motto is that I don't only create content that my audience wants to see. I also create content that I would personally like to see as an audience. And that is where they're putting out their true authentic selves, and that is what has worked mostly for them. They've always been like, ye cheez meri audience hamesha एक्सेप्ट नहीं करने के कगार पे थी हमेशा. But when I put it out to them initially, of course there was some backlash, because I mean, as Indians, we're not super adaptable at times when it comes to content. When we get stuck, we want that exact same thing to happen. We want Sachin to open, we want Dhoni to come six down, we want Zahir Khan to open the bowling, or whatever, Jasprit Bumrah now. So it's that, right? So वो थोड़ा टाइम लगता है अडेप्ट होने को. एज ह्यूमंस ओनली दैट्स द ट्रेट. But once they adapt it, they start liking it, they start embracing it, and then they start loving it. So the one thing that most of the top content creators have always abided by is just that, after a point, अपने दिल की सुनो और जो पसंद आता है ना वो बनाओ.
That's very solid, bro. Honestly, मैं खुद बताता हूँ, even though I'm very humble in that sense, I don't have a massive audience at all. But I realized that initially I was doing podcasts exclusively in English with my professors in the US, and people who were experts in certain fields. I did notice there was an element of me that was very Indian, that was forcing itself to come out. कि भैंचो आभार अपनी हरामजादगी अपनी वो दिखा. And I wasn't able to channel that because I had put a self-imposed barrier that I will cater to a certain kind of audience. Right. And I realized, bro, how limiting was that? How utterly limiting was that? And once I made the switch from a pure English to I don't care, log आए ना आए, मैं तो ऐसे ही बात करूँगा. The results have been spectacular because of that. Because of me, because this is who truly I am. I'm half parts avocado ki maa ki chooth and half parts, bro, tell me about branding. It's like that.
Absolutely. No, so it's good to have. See, again, I think podcasts now specifically, the kind of podcast I like to consume is the one which jumps from one topic to the other very seamlessly. Like पता भी नहीं चलना चाहिए कि fuck ये तो कभी 5 मिनट पहले ऋषिकेश में avocado मिल गया करने की बात कर रहे थे, and then discussing fairness creams for some reason, and to then jumping ki okay, what should a content creator build their niche is, that there should be range. Then in the podcast I consume, I would personally like to have range, which is what, like I said, right, this is what I would personally like to consume. So that's also sort of what is coming out in the conversation.
Right. Yeah, there's this idea, it's called ecstasis. Like it's basically the other word for the flow state. And the idea is that you can enter into it simply by having an enthusiastic conversation with someone who you like about topics that you like.
And यार वो vibe, ठीक है, another buzzword, vibe होनी चाहिए भाई. If you know that the person can talk about a certain things, that you could bring up a lot other things, and there's a very high possibility that they would have at least surface level knowledge about it to strike a conversation about it.
Huh.
And of course, from there on, you can take it where you want, yeah. And depending on both of your abilities, the conversation will flow by itself.
राइट वो है ना बात 8 फैक्ट ऐप पे या क्लासमेट के रजिस्टर के एंड में फैक्ट लिखे होते हैं इतने कि आप पार्टी के अंदर बोल पाओ ओ बाय द वे डिड यू नो monkeys have 2 genitals या ऐसा कुछ फिर उसके बाद बोलेंगे और बताओ तो वो चुप हो जाते हैं because that's like half knowledge so they're not able to deliver fully.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Viraj, there is something very fascinating about you. You seem very level-headed and calm. I think it must be a strength to manage relationships when it comes to not only the many stakeholders that you have in Monk Entertainment, with the various subsidiaries and content creators that you manage, but then also the very content creators that you have relationships with, the artists. How is it like managing these different relationships and different expectations? As a hate to use the word, आप एक 24 साल के जवान entrepreneur हो, come to my TEDx talk. आप कैसे करते हैं सब? That sort of thing.
Bro, so I'll be very honest there. It's been a whole journey of learning. Yeah, I was actually not super level-headed, and I was super underconfident, very insecure as a guy. When I started things off, I was just like a young kid on the block, who's just starting off in an industry he doesn't know much about. So a lot of these good traits, I feel, come purely from failures and from experiences that harden you as a person, but also make you better. So, for example, like I used to be super insecure about the fact कि यार fuck bro, अभी ये business ना किसी और को चला जाएगा. Why? For factors that were not even in my hands. I gave my best shot already, but I used to still think about कि fuck यार क्या करेंगे, क्या होगा यार, नहीं यार ये तो business चला जाएगा हाथ से and all. But now I'm just like, see, if I've given my best shot, right, I'm just going to leave it at that. If it's meant to happen, perfect. We will nail it with this client. If not, sure, man, they will go to another client, fail there, and come back to us. So, so no, but yeah, I mean, I'm just like, what's going to happen is happen, boss. You just give your best shot out there and stop worrying about things. Or if you talk about being level-headed, I've had many bouts of aggression. I don't look like a guy who would have that at all, have anger issues at all. I didn't have anger issues, but I'm human after all, dude. I've had many places where loyalties have been questioned. Someone I used to trust a lot backfired. Someone who I counted on to perform very well didn't do as well. Someone someone who I defended previously and had their back previously didn't have my back during my low points. So all of those experiences that have gone through in a 2.5 year journey, which have made me realize ki boss, at the end of the day, what's most important is your peace of mind.
Yeah, I'm sure in those 2.5 years, you'd be listening to a lot of rap saying, bro, backstabbers hai, haters hai, loyalty.
All the time, dude. So I had the phase in between where I used to hit the gym also. And I used to just, on blast listen to, I'm not a rap kind of a guy, honestly, but I'm more like a Bollywood. So मैं full blast पे लक्ष्य के song सुनता हूँ. तो मैंने बोला fuck it. उसके बाद I'm just
क्या movie थी, by the way. It was
what a lovely movie.
It was a movie for its time.
Yeah. So it was like I'm just instilling all this fake inspiration in me, and I'm just pumping myself up. Ki fuck it, yaar, to main kha ke rahunga and all. So my initial 1.5 year was all about, no, I will fucking prove myself and make this shit happen and all of that. Is also actually very important as a trait. I am glad I had that fire, because uske bina wo I wouldn't, if I was more peaceful back then, I wouldn't have taken a lot more of those decisions which I did at that point, which I'm really proud of. I'm like, ठीक है यार, ऐसा कुछ कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. let's go with it. So it is important, I feel, for you to be full of passion, fire when you're starting off your organization, your passion project, so that you can become a bit of a mellow person through the journey. Then take level-headed decisions at an organization level. Then know that, okay, you have about 35 people you have to look after as well. You can't be brash with your decisions now. At that time I didn't have, it was just me and like 3-4 people I had to fend for. So I was like, fuck it, I have their bags, they have mine. So it's very situational, man, to what you're doing, how you're doing. So that level headedness has actually come from a point where I have interacted with some of the most famous and successful people in India and in the planet. uh, where I have initially, जब मैं मेरी पहली मीटिंग हुई होती उनके साथ, तो I would have shit my pants there and I would have been fucking scared. So I have had those phases. But फिर मुझे पता चला कि after meeting them 2 or 3 times, you realize कि fuck यार, ये तो same ही अपने जैसा ही है यार बंदा. He's just done a certain bunch of things right, which has taken him to this sort of pedestal. But we as an audience don't identify or get to meet with that personality.
Yeah,
So
people
I'm
are,
like, see, dude, if this guy who's so successful can be so humble, so level-headed, or whatever, there is nothing that should stop you from being the same, because you're not 1/10 or 100% of that. But you need to just keep that hunger going, and it's a long race, bro. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So
yeah,
keep going, keep learning, all that jazz, man, all that razzmatazz everyone knows. But the whole level-headedness, to answer your question, has come through pure experience of having breakdowns, crying, yelling the fuck out of my lungs, constantly being in the need of having a punching bag in the office, but still just the people in office don't let me have one. And I have those fucking stress balls all the time, man, in office. So it's come from a lot of those like phases of life, where now I've been like, okay, dude, if we have gone through many of the previous phases in life, this will pass too. There is no need to be insecure. There is no need to be impatient. Just give it some time. It will pass.
yeah. There is this idea that the Stoics have. Stoicism is a philosophy. The idea that they have is called amor fati, which means a love of fate, which means that everything that has happened up to this moment is exactly how it meant to be, how it was meant to happen. And as a result, I accept everything as it is, even the worst, even the hard bits, even the undigestible bits. Bro, एक बात बता मेरे को, बड़ी honestly, बहुत सारे ऐसे सक्सेस फेलियर आते हैं जिसके अंदर इंसान बोलता है कि अब तो सीन बिल्कुल ऑफ ही हो गया, मैं खत्म ही हूँ. आई रिमेम्बर फॉर मी इन अ ग्रैंड कॉन्टेक्स्ट, द ओनली थिंग दैट आई कैन थिंक ऑफ इज मैं कॉलेज के सेकंड ईयर में घर पे ना बताए किसी लड़की के प्यार में पड़ गया था यूएसए के अंदर. और मैं ना, आई यूज्ड टू बी ग्रेट स्टूडेंट, आई फेल्ड ऑल माय क्लासेस दैट ईयर, डिडंट टेल एनीवन. I was about to be shunned down from college, but they sent me a letter that said कि यार तुम ना प्रोबेशन पे आ जाओ, कोई सीन नहीं है. तो मैंने घर में बताया नहीं, मैंने फिर पढ़ा वढ़ा, I got back onto it. And then from 2017 on, I kept on receiving various kinds of setbacks and failures and that sort of thing. And in 2017, I decided to say, fuck it, let's start this podcast. So 2018, I decided. So all of this shit happened. But one thing that remained consistently with me was my ability to incite conversations and enthusiasm in people about the things that I'm passionate about, right? And I'm going to segue this question into something very finite. एक जो चीज होती है जो तेरे साथ creators होते हैं, all the creators, right? I can only imagine, and you talked a bunch about the stress balls and the pressures and the punching bags. The level of pressure someone who has 3 million people watching their video every single day must feel to perform. Matlab, it's like, how can you even perform under that pressure, under this idea? Agar tumhara, for example, jo moniker hai online, wo tumhari asli personality se alag hai. So you also have to maintain that throughout. Bro, have there been times, that's a stupid question actually. Of course, there have been times. where your creators have like, bro, Viraj, I'm fucked, I'm dead, help me, something like that?
Yeah, of course, dude. So the sort of philosophy that we work with our creators at Monkey Entertainment is that we are genuinely your family. Like we don't just say it, but like I mean it. Most of these guys are my bros. Like they are genuinely my best friends in real life also. It just so happens that I also manage their business.
Right.
So that's the case. So I know everything about their lives, man. Like the breakups they go through, the sort of the monetary stress that they might ever have in life, the sort of other relationships, platonic relationships that they have with their families, with their siblings, all of that. I'm always like part of what's happening. कि fuck यार मुझे 2 बजे बंदा कॉल करके बोलेगा कि यार fuck यार ब्रेकअप हो गया, या fuck यार अब whatever dad के साथ ये issue हो गया or whatever. So they're all humans, like I said. Yeah, we feel कि यार actors and cricketers and all somehow are these superhumans who have
People see
successfully,
images of the famous, they don't see the person behind the famous.
yeah, that they somehow have overcome all the pains and pleasures of a normal human life, and they are just on a different pedestal. That is not true. They also, while of course money relieves a lot of things and stresses, I 100% agree with that, but there are certain things that will still keep bothering you in your lives. Yeah, it's not like your life becomes perfect even after you get fame and success and money and all of that. So that's the case where someone's having a troubled relationship with their parent, or they've just come out of a terrible breakup, or they probably loaned some money to a friend, and they the friend ran away or some shit like that. That's not happened. I'm just giving a hypothetical situation, but it's like everyone faces problems. So yeah, of course I've had a bunch of these guys who've had such terrible breakups where they've not been able to create content for like a month or so, but they've the one thing that I like about a lot of these guys is they're super persistent. They are always looking to hit hard ki fuck it, chal theek hai, ye hua to hua, ab what can I do? While I'm still in pain, I need to ensure that I'm paying the salaries of 5 other people. Even the content creators that we represent, they have their own teams, video production and all that. So they realize that, boss, it's not just me. I can't think from self perspective anymore. I need to fend for them. So I need to constantly keep keep paddling the boat. I just need to survive, need to keep it afloat. So let's do it. Of course, the growth then isn't as much as it normally would, but it's just that it's all about staying afloat, right? You can't always have the best sunny days. There will be rain on many of these days, but you just need to make sure that you don't get too wet. So that's the zone, yeah. तो हुआ है यार, काफी हुआ है. The most common thing is बंदी के साथ breakup हो गया. And I mean, yeah, it's long-term relationship, so that will hurt a lot. So we help them recover from that. I also take a step back. I won't be like यार हाँ चल अभी यार 10 brand deal करनी है, फट काम पे लग जा. I'll be like चलो ठीक है, we'll take a breather. You need it. Or it will be over exhaustion. Most of these guys face this a lot. Content creators specifically, क्योंकि audience से
Tim Ferriss की
weekly
वीडियोस
demand
दिखाना,
होती है. Sorry.
टिम फेरिस की वीडियोस दिखा देना कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स को.
Yeah, for sure.
ब्रो,
So
बैचिंग, एफिशिएंसी, ये सब चीजें.
no, so the thing is, यार वो देखते तो है यार, Tim Ferriss and your Tony Robbins and all of these guys, of course.
नहीं,
But
I only
it's
mentioned Tim Ferriss because I've noticed that he has a wonderful social media strategy. He's one of the world's consistently top creators, but he has his ability to delegate, automate, execute.
keep churning out content. Yeah.
हाँ, वो मास्टर है इस चीज का. वो मतलब he does not spend an iota of his time thinking about कि bro, अब क्या हो रहा है, ऐसा क्या हो रहा है, ऐसा क्या हो रहा है. Because he has mastered the idea of processes and systems that are repeatable and that give results over a large scale. बिना तुम्हारा दिमाग खर्च करे हुए.
True, exactly. Yeah, so things like that, they're all humans, man. So it always happens where they're facing some sort of breakdown, and we have to lift them up from that.
Do you miss your life before you became Viraj Sheth, the guy from
Not
Monk
at
and Hill?
all, bro. I love this life. This life is the best life I'm living.
And
Um,
where do you see? Yeah, Bench, I hate to ask these interview like questions, but like I genuinely am curious
Great,
now.
fine.
Where,
Go for it.
bro, I'm from GQ. I would love to see young India's entrepreneurs talk about where they see the future of social media. But on a serious level,
Man.
what?
Social media,
No, no, I was
bro.
just kidding. That's actually not my
Uh,
question. What I'm saying is, ब्रो जैसे स्पेस ऑलरेडी काफी सैचुरेटेड है, ठीक है?
हाँ,
यूट्यूब का हो गया इंडिया के अंदर स्पेशली, ठीक है, या फिर इंस्टाग्राम का हो गया या किसी और भी प्लेटफॉर्म का हो गया, तो अब किसी कंटेंट क्रिएटर को अगर घुसना है तेरे हिसाब से एज विराट सेठ, व्हाट वुड यू रेकमेंड एज अ स्टार्टर किट कि क्या चाहिए?
yeah. First of all, the motive should be right. The motive shouldn't be that
फेमस होना
sure,
है.
I will be famous, I will get to travel wherever the fuck I want, and I'll
हम्म.
get a lot of free goodies along with it, right? That's not going to work. It does not matter what kind of content you like to create.
हाँ.
If you are coming purely for the idea to either entertain the audience or educate the audience, you will find your own audience somewhere. You may not hit numbers like an Ashish Chanchlani,
हाँ.
um, or a Logan Paul or whatever, but you will find your audience, and that audience will be enough for you to have a respectable income,
हम्म.
right? And that can be in whatever ways, brands, YouTube money, all of that, right? So boss, उतना मुझे पता है कि if you know that you are in this game to create content long term, you will earn more than an engineer who has had 3 to 5 years of experience um, in India. You will be able to easily make more money than that person,
हाँ.
which is to even चलो give you a figure 50 to 60 grand महीने का आराम से बना दोगे.
ठीक है दोस्तों, अभी आने
ठीक है.
वाली क्लिक वीडियो जिसके अंदर मॉन्क एंटरटेनमेंट के को फाउंडर रिवील करते हैं कि आप 50 से 60 हजार रुपए कमा सकते हैं यूट्यूब से. देखिए एक्सपोजे.
YouTube videos. So yeah, I mean, and yeah, money is a huge motivation for people, which is fine again. But
हाँ.
don't run for the money when you're starting off, because genuinely, and it's a very stupid thing to say, it will come when you are chasing excellence. And it's a very cliche dialogue, but go for that. Really.
Bro, there's a reason why cliches are cliches because they are true. हम ना cliches की पहली
They
गांड
work,
मार,
yeah.
सच होता है,
Exactly.
जनरली सच होता है.
Yeah, exactly.
काफी काफी क्रेजी ब्रो यार. आई वुड लाइक टू जस्ट एक दो तीन चीजें बात करने के बाद आई वुड लाइक टू लेट यू गो बिकॉज आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट quarantine period is heavy content consuming time and production time for the likes
Arey,
of you.
no, man, it's chill.
Bro, एक बात बता.
Hmm.
I've been thinking about this idea of regional content and English content, right? Um,
Right.
ये I've read so many studies about regional content somehow taking over Indian airwaves and
Landscape.
screens by 2024. कि ऐसा हो जाएगा कि there will be more regional content than English content in India. For people who are मतलब इसका मतलब ये है कि you should not create intelligent English content in India.
I wouldn't say that's the case. See, honestly, it is true that only 2 to 3% of India speaks in English, if I'm not wrong. That's still a very sizable number. But I mean, it's you don't have a large play field to work with. Wait, are you there?
I'm there. I'm there. Hello?
Bro, are you there?
I am there. What happened? Are you hearing me? Hello? Hello? Yo. Hello. Yo, what's up?
So I was going to fetch my phone to check out what happened. But yeah, where were we?
Sorry, we were discussing. You said arguably bro science fact कि शायद 2 से 3% इंग्लिश बोलते हैं लोग इंडिया में, but
2-3% है यार English audience. So you're playing with a smaller chunk of an audience, but you're also then playing with a global audience, right? Um,
हाँ,
so so that increases your play field quite a lot. You need to understand what game are you playing. India mein there have been creators who've taken the English route, although most of them have also now started regional things. I think the Jord Indian is possibly the only YouTube channel now. Niharika and
which
him, of
one?
course. Jord Indian. It's a comedy channel.
Jord Indian, Jord Indian.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's two guys. One guy is from Jordan and one guy is from India. They
interesting.
from Bangalore, and that's their primary audience. And see, honestly, Bangalore is the most westernized city in India, so it
Not
works
Mumbai.
for them. They rake in decent views. No, definitely not Mumbai. Bangalore out there, man. Like too westernized.
I've only
So
been there once. Yeah.
yeah, it's a great city. But yeah, they're possibly the only channel that's still raking in a lot of the views with English content. But then it depends. Like, say, for example, someone like a Gaur Gopal Das, who's essentially a monk, and is primarily he's Indian. Like, he's the
Hmm.
traditional guys, engineering किया है, Morgan Stanley में काम किया है, and I think and then took monkhood. But his audience is majorly global. It's not just India. He speaks only in English and Hindi sometimes. But that's what has enabled him to make a global audience.
Right.
Ranveer, for example, Beerbiceps, he started English content, realized that the views are not picking up anymore. Started the Hindi channel, he reached about 1.5 million in like 30% of the time that he had reached on the English channel. So यार मतलब वो time to effort analysis करने में everyone is realizing that regional is giving us way more reach, is
Hmm.
helping us reach way more people. So why not just take that route? It's usually that. So you have to pick your battle. What do you want? You want a global audience. You'll have to make global content accordingly, or you want an Indian audience which is purely urban, or you want an Indian audience which is the Bharat ka audience, which is the regional audience.
Crazy. Yeah, I've never been I've never learned it through that lens of segmenting it into different sectors. विराज एक बात बता ब्रो, तेरा तेरा टिपिकल रूटीन क्या रहता है? सुबह उठता है, इंस्टाग्राम चेक करता है,
हाँ.
1 मिलियन फॉलोअर हो गए, नेक्स्ट क्या करता है?
मैं उठता हूँ, इंस्टाग्राम चेक करता हूँ,
सरप्राइजिंग
सो
सी बात
जाता
है ना,
हूँ.
लोग पहले यूट्यूब नहीं चेक करते, व्हाट्सएप नहीं चेक करते, पहले इंस्टाग्राम चेक करते हैं, कुछ उसके
Dude,
अंदर
it's
अलग ही
just a
सी
reflex for me. Yeah, it's just a reflex for me. कि इंस्टाग्राम से मैक्स वैलिडेशन मिलता है ना लोगों को यार, कि हाँ मेरा फोटो लाइक हो गया, मेरे फॉलोअर्स बढ़ गए, मेरे हिस्ट्री पे इतने व्यूज आ गए, मेरे को कोई क्यूट बंदी ने डीएम कर दिया, ऑल दैट जैज, राइट?
हाँ,
या मेरी क्रश ने रिप्लाई कर दिया मेरे फोटो पे यार, व्हाटएवर. So, but me personally, actually, I get the most hype from Twitter notifications now,
हाँ,
because I have fallen in love with a process where someone is actually liking my thoughts more than my appearance.
हाँ.
So I'm enjoying that. So when I
Every
get a
writer's
retweet
dream
or
is that, by the way.
sorry,
Every writer's dream is that. Twitter was, I think, it was
yeah,
made for writers,
exactly, dude.
and
And
it
I've
works.
always internally been a writer. I'm not like an author type writer, but I just
हाँ,
like sharing a lot of my thoughts and analysis and observations.
हाँ,
So fun fact, like that's how I used to be pre doing this whole career. When I was in school and college, I used to put up a lot of statuses on Facebook.
हाँ,
um, and I used to tweet about very random things, dude, like everything from cricket to politics, and I used to put my wit and humor to it. So it was a hit back then also, matlab, यार मुझे तभी भी 200-300 लाइक्स आ जाते थे. I was like कि cool यार, मतलब I have some sort of an audience.
हाँ.
And then I completely stopped when I was in when I started the whole journey to this company. I stopped that, and then I rediscovered that, and I started tweeting a lot on Twitter. Resharing that content on Instagram, and then I picked up more followers. I was like, yeah, cool. Now I think people are vibing with those thoughts again. So let me get back into that zone. So Twitter notifications is my jam these days, routine mein to. But yeah, I wake up uh, on a normal day, if it's not a work from home quarantine situation. I wake up, I'll try to put in a meditation for 10-15 minutes. I usually fail a lot of times because I'm just in a hurry to rush to office, because it's a 1 hour journey for me to go from home to office. Our office is in Prabhadevi. So it's quite a journey. Then I reach office, I take my usual so I'm not a coffee or a tea or a whatever guy. I just normally drink water. I leave.
Bro, तेरे अभी 400 अनफॉलो हो गए इस बात को बोलते ही.
It's fine, dude. I'm not addicted to any substance. So I don't drink, I don't smoke up, none of that. I lead a very fucking boring lifestyle. Uh, but I mean that just helps me, dude.
Let's
Like it
let's
helps me
replace
to stay fit.
let's replace the word boring with in control, or for the lack of a better word, not. I when people say that, like I sleep early, I am peaceful, मतलब मेरे अपने issues हैं, ठीक है, मेरा काम मेरा scene है, ठीक है. So I'm like, bro, there is nothing wrong with being a teetotaler.
No, of course, I'm not saying I
नहीं
love
नहीं, I know, I
it.
know.
I love this lifestyle.
So something very great that came to my head the other day is I was reading this quote, and it said that be disciplined and orderly in your life so you can be violent and original in your work. And I was like, ye see that.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So yeah, अपना वही zone है यार. It's that no intoxicants in life whatsoever. So yeah, it's usually that I reach office, normal work day. We'll speak to the team. We'll speak to whoever closely I'm working with within the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
Emails, get shit done. Speak to talents, all that jazz. Get done with the day. I get done pretty late, usually 10:30, 11. I leave there. I reach home by like 11:30, 12:30, whatever, something like that, which is
Yeah.
super unhealthy. And I'm so glad that with this whole work from home thing right now, I've got my life in even more control. I eat right, I work out well. I'm sleeping the right amounts. So my stress actually reduced quite a lot. So वो scene है. That's our usual day. Even if I'm not working from home in a normal day, I've personally had this whole epiphany जहाँ पे मुझे पता चला कि बहुत fit रहना important है. And like I had mentioned earlier, as a good Jew, my sweet taste buds are always needy.
Let me
So
tell you a
to
story about
counteract,
Asaram Bapu and good Jews. Do you know
uh,
Asaram Bapu?
of course.
My Nanaji used to be a big fan of Asaram. He was like his, but way back in the day before he was caught in all the rape cases and shit.
Yeah.
Asaram decides to visit Faridabad, and my Nanaji signs us up as like the hosts who will basically आसाराम आपके घर पे आके रहेंगे इस टाइप से, ठीक है. तो मैंने कहा कोई सीन नहीं है, ठीक है, मैं तो छोटा ही था, नए नए घर बनाया था हम लोगों ने फरीदाबाद में इधर. Asaram comes,
Right.
right? Asaram brings his whole like troop of cooks and stuff, and I never had Gujarati food before. I had like dokla and stuff, but I never had like Gujarati food. तो फिर क्या होता है कि मैं अंदर बैठा हुआ हूँ, नीचे उसका जो कुक है आसाराम का खाना लेके आता है, और ना खाना आधा खाया हुआ है, कहता है इसे खाओ, प्रसाद है. मैं बोलता हूँ बहनचोद ये किस तरह की वो है यार, मतलब मैं क्यों खाऊं इसका खाना.
Why is this
मैंने कहा,
compulsion? हाँ.
हाँ ठीक है, तो क्या, मैंने कहा चल फक इट. मैंने खाया थोड़ा सा. मैंने आज, यू नो व्हाट घिया इज, राइट? घिया की सब्जी होती है,
Yeah.
राइट? वो घिया की सब्जी थी. आई नो घिया इज लाइक स्लाइटली स्वीट, बट आई कुड सी उसमें बकायदा शुगर तैर रहा था. तो कुछ सीन होता है कि मतलब वो मीठी ही बना दी. इट वाज अ स्वीट डिश सब्जी विद रोटी, राइट? एंड देन आई एम लाइक, ये एज आई एम ईटिंग इट, ऊपर से मैं देखता हूँ पर आवाज आती है, हरामजादे. एंड इट्स लाइक Asram Babu is is saying haramzade to his cook because he preemptively.
You're breaking a little bit.
Hello, I am.
I just gave you.
Fantastic. We're back again, bro. Fuck this internet. Fuck bandwidth limitations. Fuck coronavirus. जान मार दी. Anyway, मैं कह रहा था आसाराम बापू चिल्लाया अपने नौकर पे और उसने कहा कि हरामजादे, और आसाराम बापू गुस्सा इसलिए हो गया क्योंकि मैंने उसके हिस्से का घिया खा लिया था. So that's the last I saw of Asaram, and the last I saw of that's the last I saw of Asaram, and the last I saw of Ghia and Gujju food until many years later. So it's funny.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I tried. In all this shit, I don't even know why I told you that story. I think it's hilarious because
why did we land up on this story?
But bro, one more thing. What's very remarkable about what you do is you've created a team around yourself to pump out essentially the most difficult thing in the world, content. And why I say that is because there are so many people, including myself, who struggle with being able to scale and then to build a team around creating content at scale. India ke andar especially, there are so many interns and so many other people who posit themselves as social media managers.
Right.
So how did you do it?
How did I build a team? Because sorry, you broke a little bit.
Yeah. So what I'm essentially asking you about firing.
Yeah, basically building teams one of the most difficult things for us as a company, and a lot of the credit for this actually goes to Jalak from my team, who's our CEO. She brought in before she came in, the company was essentially just a frat house of like 4 or 5 dudes trying to run a startup. Super disorganized, super like chilled out, super violent party, but also, you know, extremely like disorganized. So it was like that whole vibe ki, yeah, fuck it, like intense sales and shit all the time going on, but no like
Wolf of Wall Street,
team,
cocaine
no
era.
culture. Yeah, no culture, none of that jazz, you know. So once she came in, she actually set a lot of things into place for us. She started so we started hiring a lot of people. Once we moved into the new office, we had requirements and we realized that, you know, cool, we're already having the talent management wing and all, but we also need to build social media and video production and all of that jazz. Because my personal dream was always to create amazing ads with a lot of wit, humor, good messaging, stuff like that. Because personally, when I used to watch TV, I wasn't always super impressed with the ads that were created. So I was like, dude, buddy, okay, maybe I want to change that.
You wanted to be an ad man? Interesting.
I wouldn't say ad man specifically. I didn't know what the term was for that. I just wanted to create something better. That's for the lack of a better word. So that was it. So I realized ki chalo theek hai yaar, if you know, fortune's got me to this media entertainment space, artists and all of that, I really want to capitalize and make sure that I am actually able to create value adding content for the brands directly also. So to build that, we had to build a team, because see, I'm not the videographer, I'm not the DOP. I can come up with concepts, sure, but if I had to do it, I had to build a team around me. Yeah, I was saying, we needed to have a team of young people who had fresh ideas all the time, right? So we hired a lot from our own college, DJ Sangvi. This is an engineering college, where the complete core team is from. So we realized, okay, you know, let's get engineers. Maybe we'll figure some things out with them. And that's exactly what happened. We got, like, after the core team, the next bunch of hires was 2 of these really young girls we had from DJ Sangvi. They've still not graduated yet. They came up, they're still coming up with the sickest like campaign ideas for us. Then we got a lot of people from friends of friends, you know, who had some experience in videography, some experience in editing, things like that. We got some kick-ass graphic designers. It was all like, we had to fire a lot as well, but eventually the right sort of team, you know, the A team we found after almost a year and a half. Okay, boss, this guy is an ace graphic designer, this guy is a great editor, this girl is going to kick it with all her sick ideas, pop culture, all that. This person is going to be great with client servicing, making sure that they get more business from the clients. This guy is going to be great with sales. This guy is going to be great with talent management and handling their tantrums. So it's all of that. वो काफी टाइम के बाद वो right, you know, mix of people we found. And we're really lucky, man, that even during these times of stress, my personal motive and goal within this next 2-3 months is to ensure that hopefully I don't have to let off anyone for a crisis situation. If they're bad, yeah, they'll be out, but not from a perspective that I'll have to fire them because of the crisis. So that is my number one perspective currently, where I don't want to fire anyone because they've been there with me. I also want to be there when the times get tough.
Right. Fantastic,
so
man.
While that's really the whole point, man. While there is not enough business in the market right now, we're just trying to figure how is it that we can stay afloat and keep our family with us, keep a family going. So I mean, yeah, it's a little emo, but I mean that's the vibe.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I don't have a team, so I'm just gonna to try and add some emo music here. It's like, oh, cue in something like Viraj Sheth's family moment. Viraj Sheth's, like वो क्या था उसका वो संस्कारी बापू जो था, I forget his name. Alok Mishra, was that his name? Sanskari Babuji. Hello. I think you're cut off again. Viraj, can you? Yo, we're back up again. We keep doing this again and again. It's like Facebook 2009. Bro, to end things off, it has been a pleasure talking to you. I think you're gone again. Podcast listeners, I had to cut the conversation short because our Wi-Fi's were pretty fucked. But this was Viraj Sheth of Monk Entertainment. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. And as always, like, share, subscribe. And if you're listening to the podcast, follow us.